Hey everyone, I hope wherever you are in the world you're keeping safe and well. I'm super excited to be a part of this project, which I just think is so important right now. And I've dressed for the occasion. I am wearing a t-shirt designed by Moai Apparel. If you haven't heard of them, check them out. They are amazing. And this is a chameleon with the word adapt on it, which I just think is so apt and so important right now, given what we're going through in the world. And what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about in this video is the idea of grief, actually, and a couple of the myths around that, and just a couple of tips, really. So I think one of the biggest myths is that we only grieve or we only feel grief when someone we love dies, and of course that's not true, and it's a really damaging and unhelpful narrative that goes around in society. Grief comes often during times when things are really unsettled, which is exactly, what we're facing right now in the world. And it's a response to anything that we deem to be a significant loss to us. So that doesn't necessarily mean the death of someone we love. That can be the loss of a job. It can be suddenly having to work from home. It can be not being able to go out in the world like we used to, particularly if we're very gregarious, kind of social person, and now we find ourselves at home. So grief is the response to anything, any loss that we deem significant in our life. And so the first kind of tip I want to give you is that you decide what a significant loss is in your life. So that's not for someone else to decide. And it's not the thing itself often that we grieve, it's the meaning that we attach to it. So for example, if you are an extroverted person and all of a sudden you are having to work from home, that may affect you a lot more than someone like me, for example, who's very introverted and doesn't need a great deal of social contact, and in fact finds kind of the work environment sometimes quite draining. For me, working at home, that's a much easier thing than perhaps someone that's extroverted and actually really enjoys that day-to-day social contact of kind of being in an office environment. So that's kind of the first thing, that it's not up to somebody else to decide whether you're allowed to grieve or not. You get to give yourself that permission if you feel actually you're going through a loss that is really significant to you. And it doesn't have to be that you're ill, or that someone that you know is ill, or that someone you love has died. Actually, it can be something like not being able to go to work anymore and having that part of your life being changed. And I guess the second tip I kind of want to give you is to take the pressure off yourself, and that grief it's something that requires, it's a transition period. It requires quite a lot of adjustment. So, transition plus adjustment often equals grief. And then if we add time to that, what we get is that we're able to adapt. If you think of being stranded, say you're on an island and you can see another island way off in the distance, and you decide to set sail for that island, but you don't know what's coming, and you find yourself in the ocean. That's kind of what the transition period is like. And so at the moment, if you've perhaps lost your job, you're in the ocean. So you've left one island, you haven't quite made it to the other island yet, and you don't even know what that island's going to be like, and you're kind of in the middle of this ocean bobbing around, and it's all stormy, and it can seem really unsettling. Eventually, and I'm sure you know this looking back over your own life, you will always make it to that next island. You'll always make it to the other side. But it's really hard, being in that period of transition and adjustment where everything feels really chaotic and uncertain. It can be a scary place to be. You will find land again, but just take the pressure off yourself. Don't rush yourself through this process. If you are grieving, if you are struggling, if you are finding there's a lot of changes in your life right now, just allow yourself to be where you are, take the pressure off, and know that it's okay, and that wherever you are and whatever you're feeling is normal. Third thing I would say, although it can be really hard at the time when you're in the middle of the ocean between two islands, is that our grief will always give us a gift. sometimes several, if we're prepared to open our eyes and to look for them. And I think at the moment, one of those gifts that we're getting is the world slowing down and kind of encouraging us to be still. And I just wanted to read you something very quickly. Brilliant book. If you haven't already read it, Mark Nepo, The One Life We're Given. I just want to read you a passage from here because I think it's really beautiful and hopefully will really speak to you where you're at right now. And it's about retreat. Retreat is a time to sit quietly and wait for our souls to catch up with us, a time to invite our souls back into the centre. To do this, we must let go of all that is not essential, going ever inward in silence to encounter the true self. Paradoxically, it's in the sitting, this silent waiting, this act of doing nothing, that we embark on the inward journey. Despite the outward appearance of stillness, retreat is far from passive or inactive. Rather, the inward work, the inner journey, can be intense. It's only in this stillness that we can reconnect with our soul, that deepest part of ourself, which all the while has been on a journey of which we have been largely unaware. Retreat is becoming aware once again of the soul's journey and reconnecting with the soul's creator. I just think that's so beautiful. So some of the gifts right now are just being still and just sitting in the not knowing. And I know that's really hard, but just waiting for things to be clear again. And this is giving all of us a chance for our souls just to catch up, because we live in such a busy world where it's all about the doing instead of the being. So this is a beautiful chance to just be. So I hope that has helped a little bit, that there's been something in there that's resonated with you. And just, please give yourself permission to be where you are and to feel what you feel. And I just hope and pray that you will continue to be safe and well. Okay, bye.